You know that meme that pops up anytime a team is linked to any sort of player in any way? You have yourselves the fans, the armchair GMs that go out there and all of a sudden have a million things and more to say about whatever player the team they're cheering for could potentially be interested in or could potentially look at, and everybody seems to have an opinion about this new guy. That's kind of what we saw over the weekend when it comes to New Jersey Devils defensemen and Vancouver Canucks fans. I forgot who it was that tweeted it out. But somebody was saying that, oh, all of a sudden everybody in Vancouver is an expert on New Jersey defensemen. Why? Well, because we had ourselves the trade rumors going about with guys like JT Miller, guys like Conor Garland, Elliotte Friedman on the intermission show on Saturday on both the Edmonton and Montreal game as well as the Vancouver-Calgary game, saying that New Jersey and Conor Garland, they potentially could see a fit, or New Jersey might be interested in getting this kind of guy. We also had, of course, Rick Dhaliwal on Donnie and Dolly the other day say that back when Conor Garland was initially being traded from Arizona, the New Jersey Devils were indeed one of those teams that was asking about him. So when it comes to Vancouver Canucks forward Conor Garland, there are indeed some conversations you can have as to what the New Jersey Devils could potentially go out there and try to offer Vancouver, should they really want to go out there and make a trade for Garland. Now, we're going back over onto the province and taking a look at this article by Patrick Johnston. We highlighted this initially in the first video talking about the Conor Garland and New Jersey thing. Take a look at this. Conor Garland could be a trade chip for the Canucks. This is the report. He's on a team-friendly contract, and he would be a great appeal to other teams. He talks about everything that we just discussed as well. Elliotte Friedman going out there and saying that you have yourselves Garland and the New Jersey Devils, etc. But this is what Patrick Johnston wrote about that kind of had Canucks Twitter the other day sparking up conversations left, right, and center about defensemen. The Devils, as Elliotte Friedman implied later in the broadcast, might be looking at Conor Garland. The Devils do have a pair of defensemen that might interest the Canucks in Ty Smith and veteran Damon Severson. Both are solid, puck-moving defensemen, and the Canucks just don't have puck-moving talent on their defense right now. Or at least, they don't have much of it. Severson plays on the right, while Ty Smith, a left-hand shot, has also played some right, but he is usually seen on the left. Smith is also on an entry-level contract. And so, what I wanted to do in this video was kind of respond to the Canucks Twitter discourse that I saw over the weekend, and start up a bigger conversation about these two defensemen in particular. Now, there isn't really any links, or there isn't really anything in the crosshairs that are saying, oh, the Devils would be willing to give up these guys and the Canucks would want these guys. These are just two suggestions made by Patrick Johnston on this Province article that garnered enough attention that I saw a whole bunch of people discussing these two guys in particular. So that's what we're going to be doing here in this video today. Starting out with the guy that probably is in the news for all the wrong reasons right now, let's talk about Damon Severson first. Now, he's 27 years old, 6'2", 205, a right-handed guy, making $4.1 million a season till the end of the 2023 season. He was drafted back in 2012, made the NHL full-time in 2014-15, and ever since then, he has been a pretty stable puck-moving offensive defenseman with a few defensive lapses here and there. Now, this season, he's actually got 21 points in 42 games played, which is really good for a 40-point pace, which would be a career high. Those are great and all, but yesterday, Damon Severson against the Toronto Maple Leafs had two very questionable plays, let's just say. One of them, he's trying to block a shot that is coming on the left face-off circle. He sticks his stick in there. It doesn't work. It goes right through. The shot is able to go, and it results in a Toronto goal. The second play that Damon Severson had was a lot worse. It was on the 2-on-1. Ilya Mikheyev goes out there and buries the cross-crease backdoor. And the reason the backdoor cross-crease play is even available is because the defenseman that should be checking Mikheyev, Damon Severson, completely abandons his post. He doesn't even try to get his stick in there and stop the shot from coming through. He just kind of glides away from the play in the worst way possible. Go out there and check the highlights of Toronto, New Jersey from yesterday if you want to see that Mikheyev goal, the game winner, I believe, which Severson pretty much had himself an assist on because of how lacking he was on that defensive play. So, Severson is a guy that even though he will produce points, he will have those odd moments or two that really make you pull your hair out and say, darn it, what were you doing? This particular play was hyperbolized by many people in the New Jersey fan sphere as to being one of the worst defensive plays they had ever seen at the NHL level. And sure, while it was really bad, I don't know if I could really say that. I mean, I'm a Canucks fan. I'm used to seeing guys like Spiza and Goodbranson and Kevin Bieksa towards the end of his tenure over here playing some pretty whack defense, although for Damon Severson, I do see value in the puck-moving qualities he does have. Now, is he $4 million good enough to play on the right side? If you're talking about the Vancouver Canucks, yes, he is probably better than Tucker Poolman. He's probably better than Travis Hamonic. He's probably in the same level, if not just a tad better, than Tyler Myers. When it comes to offense, he certainly is. Defensively, though, I honestly do think that Tyler Myers has a little bit more to offer, but of course, Tyler Myers is so much more expensive that you have to take into account the dollar amounts, and Damon Severson just hasn't beat there. 2023 expiring date of a $4.1 million AAV contract certainly isn't bad, but when you talk about guys that I think the Canucks could honestly use more of, you talk about Ty Smith to me. Ty Smith is 21 years old, 5'11", 179. He's a left-handed guy who also plays on the right sometimes, so shades of Nate Schmidt over there. He's on his entry-level deal that expires in 2023, and Ty Smith to me is a guy that has such a bright future in the NHL. Back in his days with Spokane in the WHL, he was one of the best offensive defensemen in the entire league. And he was going out there producing points like crazy. He was the captain of the Chiefs, going out there with some dynamic offensive abilities while also playing a very good defensive game. In the Devils system last year, he had 23 points in 48 games, which, as a 20-year-old rookie, certainly isn't bad. This year, though, he's at 10 points in 36 games, so he's not really producing as much, but the New Jersey Devils are bad enough that you can go out there and give him the benefit of the doubt. I definitely do think, though, that the best days of Ty Smith lie ahead. Not everybody can be a Hughes or a McCarr or an Adam Fox, where they step into the NHL immediately and they're all of a sudden just great right away. And having a guy like Ty Smith to man the second power play unit long-term, if the Canucks should find some way down the line to get rid of Oliver Ekman-Larsson and his behemoth of a contract, I think it could actually work out very well. Even on the left side right now, you have yourselves Hughes, OEL, and insert Burrows or Hunt or whoever else here. But if you have a Ty Smith over there, all of a sudden those are three very legitimate NHL caliber defensemen. And as Ty Smith gets better, he could eventually overtake that OEL on the left side. Again, if the Canucks find a way to trade OEL, that would probably be the best way to go about things cap-wise, especially considering the pay raise that Ty Smith is probably going to get next year or the year after. So, for the Vancouver Canucks, I could definitely see some value in both of these guys, Severson and Ty Smith. They're both offensively capable. They're both able to move the puck up with pretty good consistency, which is something that you don't really see too much out of Tyler Myers and Tucker Poolman. Sure, Tucker Poolman can carry the puck out himself and enter the offensive zone himself. He skates with the puck, and he's a lot more efficient that way than he is passing it. But still, do you want Tucker Poolman to be your guy leading the rushes? I don't think so, Jim Rutherford. And I guess Patrick Allvin. You know, that's another thing I kind of wanted to say right before the end of this video. I still sort of think of this team as Rutherford's team, and I still think of the plan that the Canucks have when it comes to trading everybody away as Rutherford's plan. Patrick Allvin is technically the GM, so we're going to have to start giving this man his props, because he's technically the guy who's going to be going out there and making these trades. Rutherford is just the guy on top who is mentoring Allvin. But still, in my heart, this sort of feels like the Rutherford plan, but I guess we could go out there and label this as the Allvin plan now, because, I guess it works either way, right? So talk to me in the comments if you're a Vancouver Canucks fan. What do you think about one of these two defensemen, or both of these two defensemen? Either way, Damon Severson with the poor defensive coverage and the very bad lowlights, but the pretty consistently alright highlights, as well as Ty Smith, young, up-and-coming defenseman. He's a really good guy from the 2018 draft, so it's the same draft, actually, as Hughes and Boucher and Adam Boquist and all of them. He was one of the top guys. It's just that he slipped for some reason all the way to 17th overall, where the Devils snagged him up. But I'm a really big fan of Ty Smith. Damon Severson, not so much, but you could probably try to convince me either way with some good arguments. Analytically, I guess Severson is a lot better than I'm giving him credit for here. But talk to me in the comments, what do you think about these two guys? And if a Conor Garland is indeed on the block, what kind of package would you want if any of these two guys were included? If you're a Devils fan, talk to me in the comments. Would you want to trade either of these guys if a Conor Garland-like asset is coming back the other way? Tell me in the comments why or why not. I hope you enjoyed this video. Trolls 99, and bye.